curious facts that you might not know. You knew that after making love, women do not feel like going to sleep. They want to talk for a while, to caress and kiss them. Did you know that losing weight increases the size of the penis? You knew that 26 calories are burned for every minute that two people kiss. Did you know that women search the internet for how to deal with the bad smell in the vagina as men look for how to deal with a small penis? You knew that eating before going to sleep can cause insomnia and bad rest because you will feel heavy. The ideal is to dine 2 or 3 hours before going to rest. You knew that thinking just 5 minutes winged by a beautiful woman is just as stressful for a man as jumping from an airplane, since it raises the levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. You knew that the nickname Chespirito of Roberto Gómez Bolaños emerges as a diminutive of the Spanish pronunciation of Shakespeare, Conspire. Did you know that bikinis and tampons were both invented by men? You knew that, according to surveys, 70% of women do not care about eating chocolates that have sex. You knew that seaprophobia is the fear of prostitutes. Did you know that there is a very common joke among Japanese children that is to fit a finger on someone else's butt when they are not being seen? It's called kanko. You knew that kasumarzu is a cheese that is eaten with liveworms inside. You knew that Ashton Kutcher once tried to commit suicide by jumping off the balcony of a hospital so he could donate his heart to his dying twin brother and save him. You knew that, as a general rule, it is very difficult for autistic people to lie, since this implies controlling gestures and emotions. Did you know the zebras are black in reality with white stripes? Did you know that a man named Charles Osborne had hiccups for 69 years, from 1922 to 1990? He died in 1991. You knew that a survey revealed that 75% of young Chinese people suffer from loneliness and anxiety. You knew that 1 out of every 400 men are flexible enough to give themselves oral pleasure. Did you know that cigarettes contain arsenic, lead, hydrogen cyanide, carbon monoxide, ammonia and other 43 carcinogenic substances? You knew that, until 1985, babies up to 18 months were operated without anesthesia because the doctors believed they did not feel pain. Did you know that spiders eat their own web and recycle it for later use? You knew that the brontophobia is the irrational fear to the raisin thunder. You knew that Bugs Bunny is not a rabbit, it is a hare. You knew that if you are happy, you are 35% less likely to die in the next 5 years than someone less happy than you. You knew that seahorses choose a partner for life. When it dies, they remain alone for a while and die too. You knew that Jian Fen, a resident of North China, sued his wife for having a very ugly daughter. You knew that if you put a Coca Light in a container of water, it floats. If you do it with a normal Coke, it sinks. You knew that, according to studies, SpongeBob is bad for children. This cartoon generates learning problems and attention deficiencies. You knew that donkeys are stubborn. When they see that a situation is not safe, they dig their feet into the ground and do not move for anything. You knew that the ozone layer has begun to show signs of recovery. This is thanks to the measures taken decades ago to protect the environment. You knew that the brain of the average man is about 10% larger than that of the woman. You knew that beer hydrates like water after exercise. When we eat for pleasure, our organism disconnects the signals that indicate that we have eaten enough. You knew that the dog that has lived the longest in history did it for 29 years. His name was Bluey, and he was an Australian Shepherd who lived from 1910 to 1939. You knew that at least once a day, the immune system destroys a cell that would have turned into cancer if it lived. You knew that in China, minors can only play 3 hours a day online video games. You knew that in 1788 the Austrian army attacked itself by accident and lost 10,000 men. You knew that surgeons who regularly play video games commit 37% fewer errors and are 27% faster than their counterparts. You knew that they have designed organic capsules that turn deceased people into trees. Instead of visiting the cemeteries, the mourners may visit the sacred forests. You knew that the practice of circumcision in men drastically alters the member's microbiome and protects against HIV and other viral infections. In 2014, a single buy bought half of tickets from several cinemas to ruin San Valentin to couples. In the first work of Brad Pitt, he was forced to dance dressed as a chicken to attract customers to the restaurant El Palo Loco. You knew that the Spanish-speaking countries with the highest IQ are Spain, Mexico, Argentina, Uruguay, Costa Rica, and Peru. You knew that changing the color of your eyes is possible using an awful laser technique originally used to correct heterochromia, an eye abnormality in which the iris are of different color. You knew that really the gray hair does not come out, but the hair becomes discolored. As we grow older, we stop producing melanin. The hummingbird is the smallest bird in the world. It can move its wings more than 80 times per second, suspend itself in the air and fly backwards, as well as reach the speed of 100 kilometers per hour. You knew that our brain has a negative tendency that makes us always be looking for the bad news. Did you know that these are the Ruby Falls located in the United States? You knew that marrying your best friend eliminates the risk of divorce in more than 78%. These marriages are the most likely to last a lifetime. You knew that a kind of squid shoots darts of semen to fecinate the female. Women gossip to release stress and maintain social order. Gossip is healthy. You knew that consuming chocolate delays aging and makes your skin glisten. Albert Einstein's brain was stolen during his autopsy. You knew that, of the most dangerous cities in the world, 43 are in Latin America. Germany asked that there be a World Heritage Site. Just as the Titanic was sinking, a ship passed near them, but the crew was asleep. Bill Gates has donated more than half of its net wealth of $61 billion. The blue whale emits the strongest sound of the animal kingdom. Its song can be detected more than 800 kilometers away. Evolutionary psychologists have found that men are much more likely to prefer tongue kisses than women. The city of Mexico is under 10 centimeters per year. Some areas report subsidence of up to 40 centimeters. Tokyo, Japan, despite being the most populated, is the safest city in the world to live. China surpassed the United States as the world's largest economy in January 2015. On one occasion, a man tried to steal a bank after paying $500 to a magician to make it invisible. Thinking that nobody saw him, the man began to take the money from the people. Seconds later, the angry customers began to hit him. When the police arrived, the man said that he was the victim. People who daydream often solve difficult problems more easily. In 2016, in Mexico, a boy died because of a chip made by his girlfriend. The chip would have caused a blood clot that traveled to the brain, causing a stroke, and the doctors could not save it. Louisiana crocodiles have learned to balance sticks in their nose in times when birds are looking for material to create their nests. This majestic ave, called Greater Arpia, takes its name from the monster's half-woman, half-bird of Greek mythology. They have a wingspan of up to 2 meters. Dogs can smell their owners more than 17 kilometers away. If you like the video, share, comment, and give it a like. Regards.